As part of our series, How to Lead a Guided Life, we are going to have a class on working with pure energy. And the name of this class is Going Deep. As I have said before and will continue to say throughout the series, the most important step that we can take in leading a guided life is in releasing all agendas and intentions. And in the spiritual energetic practice that we're going to be developing tonight, I believe, although I won't know until it's over, that we're going to be learning how to work with pure energy in order to enter into that state where we automatically feel no intention. We won't even have to intend not to intend. It will just happen to us if we follow these simple practices. So as each movement comes to me and I teach it to you, I'll be describing some of what's taking place inside us when we do the movement. When I say the movements, there may be some movements of the body, but there's also energetic movement within our own minds. This is going to be very simple. Nothing very complex, but something very simple that we can use, hopefully, in the future when we feel so guided. So the first thing that I would like you to do is put your hand in a vertical position. As you put it in a vertical position, you're putting it right through the center of your body. And use your right hand whether you're left-handed or not. If you don't have a right hand, use your left hand. If you don't have any hand, try to visualize this. Now let's start here just for you to feel what happens as you take this vertical hand and bring it through your body. I'm inviting you to become extremely attentive. You will notice that as you move your hand through the center of your body, you are creating a field that draws your energy down. The analogy that comes to me and that came to me is that it's like creating a magnetic field, that everything lines up. You know how when you have a magnet everything lines up? Well, this is exactly what you're doing. You're lining up your energy by moving your hand down. Now, I'm suggesting that you do this. I'm not saying, oh, think about lining up your energy. What I'm suggesting is that you observe that by doing this, you are automatically lining up your energy. So you have no intention. You're just doing it, and it's automatically happening. Now as we do this again, and I am aware that it becomes uncomfortable, because to hold your wrist in that vertical level can put a little strain on your wrist. But as you do this now, I'd like you to feel how your energy is moving down and starting to focus on the root, particularly the groin area, just by doing this movement. You are connecting to a very high energy because we're allowing the flow of a very high energy to come through us, and it's becoming extremely grounded as it just automatically begins to ground in the root. Now open your hands and see if you don't notice something about your hands.
They're tingling.
They're tingling.
Mm-hmm. They're warm.
They're warm, they're throbbing. Interestingly enough, the same thing is happening to the left hand as the right. Mm-hmm. Some people will say, well, of course your hand is throbbing or tingling because you've been going like this. But notice the same thing is happening to the left hand, and you haven't done anything with it. You have no intention, and yet something is happening. The energy is moving through your hands. And it is impacting the environment around you with no intention on your part. Breathe in and release. Now take your first and second finger. Bring it towards your third eye. And then turn it. Again, bring it towards your third eye and turn it. One more time. Bring it towards your third eye and turn it. Now slowly bring down your hand and see if you notice anything happening in your body.
I noticed that bringing it towards the third eye, I could feel the heat, and now that the hand is gone, I can still feel the heat in my third eye.
So what Rose said, and I'll repeat it because people need not hear that, she said as she brought her hand to her third eye, she felt the heat, and as she brought her hand down, she could still feel the heat in her third eye, even though her hand was down.
I felt the stimulation in my third eye, and as I brought my hand down, it felt like there was a line of energy extending from my third eye on down.
Anyone else have an experience?
Getting vibration down in my root.
So the entire energy is strengthening. Helena just said that she felt a vibration in her root, more of a vibration in her root. Just by doing that simple movement without any intention, we've had a number of different experiences. I would say that all of you have had essentially the experience that Helena has, that there's been an increase in the vibration, whether you were experiencing it in your third eye, as a line of energy that was going down to the root.
I get a sense of coolness coming down like this, parallel to the ground.
Amy is experiencing it as a sense of coolness. Again, are you noticing you're not doing anything? You're not intending any of these changes to take place. They are just happening by virtue of the chi that's coming down. The chi is entering into your hand, and it's creating its own footprint, so to speak. Now relax your hands and close your eyes. Focus on the energy in your root. Just focus on it. Don't do anything. Don't try to make anything happen. Just bring your attention to the energy in your root, the energy that's already there. And as you do, feel how much your eyes want to tighten. Tighten shut. Let your eyes tighten. And as you do, please share what you're experiencing as your eyes tighten.
I feel that energy in my root and even second chakra like expanding outward in all directions.
Elizabeth is experiencing that the energy in her root and second chakra is expanding. Anything else that people are noticing as their eyes tighten?
I feel like a column of energy going from my eyes to my root.
A column of energy. So you're feeling the connection between the eyes and the root. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does anyone feel an opening of their third eye?
I do. It's an opening and expansion of energy, widening.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a headache.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the pressure is increasing in the third eye just from letting your eyes tighten. You're opening your third eye without any intention to do so. Now breathe into your third eye. What happens to the energy when you breathed into the third eye?
There's more energy in the third eye.
Right. Now, I'd like you to, keeping your eyes closed, roll your eyes up towards the top of your head with your eyes closed. And as you do, tell us what you're feeling, what you're experiencing.
I feel nauseated.
I didn't hear that.
I feel nauseated.
You feel nauseated. Do you know why you're feeling nauseated?
Is it more energy?
More energy is coming into what?
I feel it in my solar plexus.
It's interesting. Anyone?
I feel more energy in my crown chakra.
The energy is coming in through your crown as you roll your eyes back. and it could be impacting. You've noticed, Elizabeth, that the energy that came into the third eye, you also experienced it at a different point in your body. But it came in your third eye and you felt it at a different part of your body. It's the same thing is happening. As you roll your eyes back in your head, the energy is increasing, coming in through the crown, and you're experiencing it in your solar plexus. Now breathe into the crown. And what's happening to the nausea?
It calmed.
That's right. So you can see that it was the energy coming in through your crown that was impacting you. When you breathed in, you opened the crown, welcomed the energy, opened the flow, and it became more comfortable. So you were welcoming that energy. Now ask yourself, do I feel any intention right now?
No.
Now you see how remarkable in a way this is. We have been doing this practice for a few minutes, and you are now experiencing what it is to have no intention. And how does that feel?
Calm.
Yes. We've had, one person said calm, the other person said liberating.
Quiet.
Quiet. At the same time as feeling calm, liberated, and quiet, are you experiencing energy in your body, chi?
Yes.
So we have a lot of energy and no intention. This is opposite of what we experience so much in our lives, where we have a lot of intention but not enough energy. Isn't it? Or sometimes when we feel energized, we also feel anxious. Like, oh, I have to do something. Here you have the experience of divine energy flowing through you with no intention, no need to do anything. Now take fingers 4 and 5. You can open your eyes and look at me again. Fingers 4 and 5. And I'd like you to go breathing in as you raise your hand and releasing as you come down. One more time. Now what are you experiencing?
Aliveness.
Aliveness?
Vibration.
Where is the vibration?
Here.
Everywhere around your head, or just
Yeah, head, chest.
everywhere where you've been moving your hand? Anyone else?
Same for me.
Same for you?
I feel it especially in the third eye.
Now do the same thing, but this time I'd like you to look through your fingers. That is, have your fingers pass through. It's like your hand becomes like a ghost. You can see right through it. Do you understand what I mean? You bring your hand through. You don't look at your hand. You let it pass in front of your eyes, and you will notice that it's like your hand becomes transparent as you bring your hands up and down. Do you see what I mean now? Now what are you feeling?
Feel lightness.
A lightness.
I feel more pressure in the third eye.
You're feeling a buildup. So Elizabeth is feeling a buildup of pressure in her third eye. Breathe into your third eye when you feel that pressure. Anyone else like to share what they're experiencing?
I'm feeling a lot of chi in my hand and also my crown.
Like the chi in your hand keeps growing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And yet we have intended nothing.
When I raise my fingers up, the chi frequency seems to get higher. And when I raise it down, it seems to feel denser and more grounded.
Very good. Now breathe in and go like this with your hand and relax. Let your eyes close and relax. If you'd like to share what you're experiencing as you're relaxing, please do.
Stillness.
Stillness.
I feel tension in my abdomen area.
Amy feels tension in her abdominal area. Breathe into your abdomen.
I'm feeling a lightness, and I'm pain-free.
Irene is feeling a lightness and is pain-free. Is that unusual, Irene?
Yeah.
She said that was unusual.
My body feels expanded.
Elizabeth says that her body feels expanded.
I experienced that too.
Steve said he experiences that too. Okay. Now I'd like to bring us into a process of going deeper. What I'd like you to notice about the process we've already done, aside from the fact that we had no intention and we became very relaxed in that place, is that we went deep into ourselves and we felt very expanded, connected to energies, the source, the universe. Now we're going to go deeper going to go back to the vertical hand. Bring it down. Feel how much chi now you experience in your root. It will probably be more than it was the first time around. Do you feel that? Okay. And let your eyes close. Rest your hands and feel yourself dropping down, down, down into a well. You bringing your attention down to your root, but you feel yourself dropping beneath your root, down into a well. And feel yourself going deeper into yourself than you have ever gone before. And as you do, let your eyes close tight. So now you're deep, deep in the well. Your eyes are closing tight. You feel the pressure on your third eye. Breathe into your third eye. Roll your eyes up as though you're looking into the skies, but keeping your eyes closed. Feel the pressure of your crown. Now breathe into the crown. Raise your hands. You can look at me for a moment if you want to see what, just like we did before. And let yourself go. If there's an uncomfortable pressure anywhere in your body, breathe into that. Just means that there's a little blockage there where the energy is flowing. Just breathe into it. Now I'd like you to bring your attention to something. Typically, we experience energies as coming from the outside. It's like sitting in the sunshine and feeling the sun on your face. It's divine energy, but it's radiating from outside. Now, where does it seem like the energy is emanating from?
I feel it from my hands.
Mm-hmm. Don't you also feel it in the rest of your body to some degree?
Third eye and all the way down to the root.
Mm-hmm. So, are you other people having that experience that the energy seems to be emanating from you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now you feel at one with the divine energy. You are its expression. It is coming through you, but it doesn't seem to be coming from the outside, because by going deep within ourselves, we find God. And there is no ego in this. It's not, oh, I am God. It is, I find the God within me. And I become the expression of that God. Now, breathe in through the mouth. Raise your hand above your head. Straighten out your hand again and bring the energy down. And relax. What are you experiencing?
I'm aware of a pulsating energy throughout my whole body.
I feel it as a buzzing energy everywhere.
Buzzing energy, pulsating energy.
I must have a block because I still feel tight here and now my back feels tight.
Just breathe into it.
I've been doing that.
Oh, well, you may have a block. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take Amy, who's feeling blocked, and Amy, would you come to the center? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go this way. This time I'd like you to hold your fingers like this. 2 fingers up, fingers 4 and 5 just slightly bent like this. I hope that everyone can see this. And just sit there and do nothing. No intention, nothing. Just emanate the energy. And Amy is joining us and doing the same. And let's see if anything happens. Stay in that absolutely blank state. Everyone, feel yourself going deep. Falling, falling, falling down into the well. Let your eyes tighten. Breathe into the third eye. Roll your eyes up towards the top of your head. Breathe into the crown. Breathe in, release. Drop your hand. Amy, did anything shift for you or not? It's okay if it didn't.
I don't know how to describe it. It just either feels like energy going up and down, or it feels like a pressure like this. I can't really tell.
Is there a problem with that?
Oh, I guess I think it shouldn't be like that.
I don't know what... You're feeling energy going up and down your spine?
Sort of like that, but it also feels like a pressure just stuck there. So...
Maybe it's not ready
You're
to...
sitting against a hard chair.
Okay, why don't you just sit down and relax and see what happens with that feeling. What's the best way to deal with that feeling?
You said to breathe into it, right?
Yes, you breathed into it and it hasn't changed, and is to have no intention. Don't treat it as though it's a problem. It's just right now that's what you're experiencing. We did an experiment to see if anything would change if we all went deeper into ourselves, but nothing changed. Then, what does that tell you?
Nothing changed.
Well, that nothing is supposed to change. I'd like to speak to this point. We had an experience where we were working with this kind of process, and there was a person in the group who was having trouble going down the well. And when we all did our own thing, she put her hand up and she immediately went down the well. She sat in the center. Now, why did that happen? And why did this not change for Amy? Well, we don't know, do we? We don't know that. We know that with the person who did not drop down the well, that she was having resistance. And just having the support of the collective, just with no intention, we didn't say, oh, we're going to get her to shift in any way. We did absolutely nothing, and it worked for her in that somehow by our doing what we were doing, we became the conduits through which God was able to make that transformation. Now, we just tried something similar with Amy. If we truly have no intention, we're not going to be disappointed that nothing happened, are we? Because we can say that whatever the higher consciousness is trying to accomplish here did not include changing that for Amy. We are doing an exercise here which is so critical, which is how do we co-create with divine energy to allow for the evolutionary changes that can only be accomplished by the source. is we are working in cooperation with that divine energy. We become the agents of that divine energy. But interestingly enough, we're not doing it by directing the divine energy, but by emitting the divine energy. And then it's up to the energy itself to do what it will or will not do. We don't know that there's anything wrong. How do we know that this isn't exactly what you need for your body, your spirit? So if we have no intention, there is no disappointment. And there's no judgment. And in a way, it's very cool that this happened, as opposed to the other, because then you would think magic manifestation. Oh, if we just go like this, then we're going to be able to accomplish that. And here we found out that we just go like this to go like this in order to become agents of the divine, and then we can't get in the middle of the mix and say, well, this is what was supposed to happen. So it couldn't have been more perfect, because this is the very thing that we need to learn. You have experienced in yourself and you experienced a lot.
I did, and until a certain point,
and then, you too, Richard? And there it is. And so this is what you were meant to experience tonight. The fact that you experienced anything is tremendously exciting, isn't it?
oh no.
And then we let it go with no judgment and see what happens. When we are having a practice, an energetic practice is being recorded by Christine based on a very similar kind of movements that we did, not exactly the same. And when that practice is up, you can practice it. And then as you do, you see what continues to happen as you keep doing it until we are directed and guided to do something different. But what have we already learned? Is the power of becoming nothing. The world is not going to change because human beings get up tomorrow with a better idea.
Darn.
We've been trying to have better ideas since we've been around. And sometimes we do have better ideas and they work. But the kind of transformation that we are longing for has to happen by the realization that we are in fact part of the whole that is in the process of evolution. Our egos are always looking for a way to direct what is supposed to happen. And we are so tempted to use spiritual power for that purpose.
So I think it was being spiritual ego, or the ego, whatever you call it.
Spiritual ego.
Ego, saying it shouldn't be like this.
That's right.
Hoping if I tried harder it would go.
Exactly. And let's not do that. That means that you were having an intention to have a different experience from the one that you wanted, and you were blocked by that intention. So that's a wonderful experience. When we're trying to operate as agents of the divine, our intention is going to be in the way. In Living with Reality, which is a book that the stream is making available free of charge, there is a chapter, Platform 3, called Becoming Co-Creative. And it says, we co-create with the universe in a subtle dance of intention and allowance. And while we're in that book and at that level where we start with becoming oneness and we move to becoming, when we get to Platform 3, we are ready to at least say, I'm intending, but I'm going to be an allowance of what happens. And there's a lot of detail about how we practice intention and allowance. But after we have completed that work and we've come to the end and we've become becoming, we're opening a new chapter in our history, and hopefully in human history, that we're helping to open that chapter, which is where we go beyond intention and allowance into becoming into being agents of divine consciousness. We have just had an experience of what it feels like to be an agent of divine consciousness. It feels peaceful, it feels relaxing, it feels calm, and it feels energizing. That's how we experience it. That's a very good feeling. It's a feeling of being beyond the domination of the ego, where our egos are cooperating, because our egos are saying, okay, now put my hand like this, because that's our individual existence, our awareness of our own individual existence. It's saying to us, oh, look what she's doing this, let's try this too. So as individuals in the context of oneness, our egos are playing a very beneficial role, which is alignment with the divine. That is what we call the ego twice born. If you read Living with Reality, or you come to my next book, which is Sacred Union, The Healing of God, even though I wrote it first. And this is the experience that we have opened today with these simple practices. How it feels to be without intention. What that means is without our ego's intention. We may be guided when we are in this place of consciousness, because I can see that many of you are in an altered state right now. When we are in this altered state of consciousness, we may be guided to do something, and it feels like an intention. Oh, in that moment, I think I feel guided to make lunch. I feel guided to make another video. Whatever it is, our intentions are now a reflection of our connection to the divine. Then we are truly in alignment, and it's a wonderful feeling. So I thank you so much for joining me for today's class, where we opened this experience for ourselves and contributed to what the Source can do on the planet simply by doing nothing and intending nothing, but becoming truly the instruments of divine consciousness. When you think about the word instrument, think of yourself as a violin that's vibrating, and there's a master violinist playing you. This is an important step to leading a guided life. Thank you. Do this as we get more grounded in our ordinary consciousness. Thank you.